Okay, here we are. I'm going to start now. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. We're going to hear from Jamarah today. Buckle your seatbelts. And we're going to start with number 17 in the book, which is There is a Balm in Gilead. There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the broken soul. Sometimes I feel discouraged and think my work's in vain, but then the Holy Spirit revives my soul again. There is a balm in Gilead. He make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the broken soul. Don't ever feel discouraged, for Jesus is your friend, who, if you ask for knowledge, will never fail to lend. There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the broken soul. If you cannot preach like Peter, if you cannot pray like Paul, you can tell the love of Jesus and say he died for all. There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the broken soul. There is a balm in Gilead to make the wounded whole. There is a balm in Gilead to heal the broken soul.
Thank you, everybody, and welcome to Taos United Community Church, where everybody's welcome. Every single body in here is welcome. No matter where we are on our faith journey, this house of prayer belongs to us. Yay. Okay. I've got a couple of announcements. One is that today is the last day for the medical debt relief checks to be handed in. And so thank you for your generosity. Scott, do you want to say anything about?
Yeah, I do.
Please.
You all are so generous. Good morning, church. The church, out of its mission fund, is going to contribute $2,000 for the medical debt. But in total, we're just shy of $9,000. So you all have come up with an extra $7,000. Yeah, isn't that amazing? And $9,000 divided by 0.8, that's somewhere around $110,000 of medical debt that this church alone will be able to take care of. So, bless you and glory to God. The next thing is, you know how we've been taking offerings, special offerings for the various UCC funds. Well, the next one coming up, and this will be the last one of 2025, is the Christmas Fund. And the Christmas Fund is designed to provide economic financial assistance to clergy in the UCC, other ministers and workers in the UCC, both retired and currently working. So we will be, well, traditionally they take it up on December 21. I'd like to take it up on December 6th. If you guys could plan for that. We'll make a couple announcements coming up, and maybe Eileen can put it in the letter just as a reminder. Just so we can make sure we get our money pulled in and our check off to the UCC. Also, I'm going to be out of town the second half of December, so it makes it easy. So anyway, God bless you all. Thank you.
Welcome back. Yay, we missed you.
I also want to share that the council has sent couple $1,000 to Sin Fronteras to help people with food expenses because they were giving gift cards out and running out of money. But I wanted to say too that there are two Guatemalan families that we've gotten to know here pretty well. And while we were in Guatemala, we had them come over to a dinner at the place where we were staying. Their families got some passports that they needed to bring back, and also a lot of chili they sent back with them. But getting to know the families of the people here helps you understand a little bit about why they came. And they were so appreciative. They just gave us tons of hugs and little souvenirs. And anyway, it was a really wonderful experience. So I'm glad we were able to make that connection while we were there.
Yes, Jerry.
Yeah, really, maybe you wish we hadn't. We're approaching a time of quiet and preparedness called Advent after Thanksgiving. And it may have been said, but I want to say a little bit now and probably again next Sunday, that your shepherd body wants to lead us through a little different approach during that time. Some of you are familiar with the Thursday morning Lectio Divina practice of reflecting on Scripture, opening ourselves to the voice of the Spirit. And we're thinking that with the four seasons, the four themes of Advent, going through that exercise together with some special readings that relate to the themes that prepare us for the coming of the Christ would be a special experience. So it'll be a little different, but just something to think about and prepare for as we approach that season.
Jerry, is that going to be incorporated into our Sunday morning service?
It'll be the Sunday morning service.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
Yep. Okay. I just also wanted to announce that within this hour, Ken and Janet are driving to Colorado to live in that new place for them, which we pray and trust will be a good move for them. And my heart is numb right now about it, but I have a good cry in the plan for some time in the next 24 hours. I saw them a couple times this week, and they've gotten so much help from family to pack up, and they're ready to go. And they have mixed feelings, of course, but I just wanted to let you know that. All right, let us... I can't find the gonger. Oh, here it is. It's right here. Okay. Let's take a minute and get settled and grounded and quiet and breathe. We breathe in gratitude for all of our blessings. We breathe out whatever distracts us from the grace that we live in. Our opening prayer today is by Cameron Trimble, Reverend Cameron Trimble, and the title is A Prayer for Strength That Heals. Merciful One, when we are wronged, help us not to become what we hate. When anger burns, give us the strength to pause. When fear arises, grant us the courage to love. Teach us the mercy that changes hearts, not by overpowering them, but by seeing them fully, compassionately, honestly. Make us bold in kindness, steady in restraint, and wise enough to remember that true power is not dominion, but care. Amen. We will do our candle lighting now to the song, "Oh, let all who thirst come to the water." And if you don't have the words, they're in the back there. This is in the new book. It's either C or G.
nothing. Let them come to the Lord without money, without strife. Why should you spend your life except for the Lord? And let all who toil, let them come to the water. And let all who are weary, let them come to the Lord. All who labor without rest, how can your soul find rest except for the Lord? And let all the poor, let them come to the water. Bring the ones who are laden, bring them all to the Lord. Bring the children without might. Easy the load and light. Come to the Lord.
Good morning. So this is a reading from Ram Dass's book, Grist for the Mill, Awakening to Oneness. And it says here the audience question that was posed was, you say every life situation is a perfect lesson. How is that so? And Ram Dass replies, the universe is made up of experiences that are designed to burn out our reactivity, which is our attachment, our clinging to pain, to pleasure, to fear, to all of it. And as long as there are places where we're vulnerable, the universe will find ways to confront us with them. That's the way the dance is designed. As we develop spiritually and see how it all is, more and more we keep consuming and neutralizing our own reactivity. Each time we see ourselves reacting, we are saying, right, and this situation too, and this one too, and that one also, and that one also, and that one also. Sound familiar? It does to me. Gradually, the attachments start to lose their pull, to fall away. We get so that we're perfectly willing to do whatever we do and do it perfectly and without attachment. It's like Mahatma Gandhi gets put in jail and they give him a lice-infested uniform and tell him to clean the latrines. and it's a whole mess. And he walks up to the head of the guards and he says, in total truth, thank you. He's not putting them on or up-leveling them. He's saying, there's a teaching here, and I'm getting it. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you. I tried to cram 4 weeks of stuff into 2 weeks in Oklahoma City, and I'm suffering for it. Thanks. Good morning. Good morning, Zoomies. The reading today is from Mark chapter 5, verses 25 through 34. And a woman was there who had been subject to bleeding for 12 years. She had suffered a great deal under the care of many doctors and had spent all she had. Yet, instead of getting better, she grew worse. When she heard about Jesus, she came up behind him in the crowd and touched his cloak, because she thought, if I just touch his clothes, I will be healed. Immediately, her bleeding stopped, and she felt in her body that she was freed from her suffering. At once, Jesus realized that power had gone out from him. He turned around in the crowd and asked, "Who touched my clothes?" "You see the people crowding against you," his disciples answered, "and yet you can ask, 'Who touched my clothes?'" But Jesus kept looking around to see who had done it. Then the woman, knowing what had happened to her, came and fell at his feet. And trembling with fear, she told him the whole truth. He said to her, "Daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering." The word of the Lord. Thanks.
Good morning, family. I missed you guys. Thank you so much for those readings. I am so glad to be here today, but I'm not thrilled to be here in America in 2025. It is unpleasant. A lot of stuff I don't care for. And I have been in a mood since, the first week of January this year. And I'm really wrestling with that. I'm wrestling with my sense of self, my sense of compassion, my sense of patience, my sense of all the good things about all of us are really, at least for me, in a test right now. Maybe you guys are perfectly spiritually balanced. Please let me know how to do that. But I have notes on how this year is going and how our country is going. And so I'm trying to stay busy. I'm trying to, in addition to trying to help and do all those other things, I'm trying to just keep my mind busy and stay distracted. I have a lot of weird hobbies. I do at least 15 crosswords a day. That helps keep my brain active in healthy ways, probably, but not in loud, negative ways. I love to sing show tunes with my dog. My dog does not love this, but she'll get there one day. So I have lots of fun stuff that I get to do. But my weirdest hobby is that I love military history, which is really odd for someone who's so passionately, ferociously against war. But it's a horror that I can't look away from. And I think a lot about why that is. Years ago, one of my very favorite pastors, Amy, preached on the idea of collective sin. And it was and it is a very theologically and ethically challenging concept for me. Right, because I didn't do the thing, but I feel a pull towards collective atonement, and I feel it most strongly with the violence that we do during war. My earliest political memory was the Berlin Wall falling, about that age, a Reagan baby. But my second memory was seeing a pie chart of the US government budget. This would have been during the H.W. Bush administration, so we're still at, peak Cold War levels of money flowing towards defense spending. I'm 41 now, and I've been working since I was 19, so that means I've personally paid 22 years worth of taxes, a large percentage of which has gone towards a lot of things, but including killing machines, right? Awful things that we've done for imperialism, and that's something that even if indirectly I need to atone for. And then there's some things I have nothing to do with, but I still feel a need to atone for. I've protested against every single war since I was old enough to understand words like strategic bombing. But I know you guys have been at it for a lot longer than I have. And that's why I love you. But I'm still part of tens of thousands of years of human history where we've treated our young men like cannon fodder. And we've been greedy and we've been fanatical. And we've sent them into meat grinders. And then we've had the nerve to use our intelligence, our God-given intelligence, to invent more efficient meat grinders, which is a big part of how we spent the last century, right? What's the worst meat grinder we can come up with? And it's a horror that I can't look away from. I'm reading this, re-listening to this podcast I listen to every year or so. And it's one of the most powerful things that I know, just kind of walking through World War I and World War II. And if you know anybody who is not anti-war yet, this will get them there. And I have to do it, and it's really, really hard. And I'm, holding you guys hostage and make you hear about it too. But that's how I've been spending my time because it feels important. There are so many amazing people here, including people in our church community that served, and I feel such pride and I feel such sorrow. And I feel such gratitude that you continue to do the work that you do and the activism you do to help us be, as a species, better than we have been. And I'm really grateful that I get to be in the room to hear Peter and everyone else share those stories. And we're not too far out from Veterans Day. So part of the way I atone during this time of year is by witnessing. So that's where that military history obsession comes in. And for me, it feels like penance to force myself to remember those unspeakable, foolish things that we've done in every single generation. Not because I was there, not because I did it, because I am, though, a member of the human race and we did it. And it's something that we are capable of. We are capable of such tremendous cruelty. And I've been thinking about that a lot in America in 2025. It's maybe easier for me to think about that cruelty with a bit of a remove, right? A couple of decades to cushion me, as opposed to what's happening right now at the border and immigration courthouses and food pantries. That's that same cruelty that we are capable of. But I look at it historically because I'm a bit of a coward. But it means that I have to remember things like like mustard gas and like Dresden and no man's land and not one but two atom bombs and Guadalcanal and Okinawa. And that's all just in the blink of an eye. That's just what we did in a few decades in a couple theaters of war. We killed 100 million of each other in just 30 years over some lines on a map and because we had some cool new toys. And maybe because we didn't have enough women in charge. I will stop before I get to My Lai and start crying. But for me, acting as a witness to those horrors is a spiritual act that I do regularly, that I need to do regularly because I need to atone and I need to be able to grow through that. So none of those, especially for use of those in this room, are new thoughts. And it's not actually what I wanted to talk about today, but I can't talk about what I want to talk about today without talking about the necessity of witnessing the cruelty that we are capable of. And so what I wanted to talk about today is Ram Dass, of all people. And even though this is Taos, and even though you guys are I should probably make sure that everyone knows who Ram Dass is. I'm guessing that everybody does. If not, we can start a book club or something. But I will say that he has been key to me keeping some semblance of sanity in 2025. I've been going obsessively through Be Here Now and through Path to God and listen to dozens and dozens of old talks, which I can't recommend highly enough. And I have so much gratitude for any person who ever hit record in a lecture of his, so that 50 years later, 30 years later, I get to listen to them. And I'm a bit jealous of anybody who was ever fortunate enough to see him if you went to a retreat or were hanging around San Francisco in the 70s, or hanging around India in the 60s. How cool. But that's what I've been doing. And it's been helping a lot. And we heard earlier in the reading that mantra, yes, and this too, in English and Sanskrit. And that has become my mantra for this year, right? Yes, and this too. Yes, and this is also part of the human condition. It helps calm me down, and it helps remind me to stay in acceptance, which keeps us out of suffering, and that this is all dharma, it's all lawful, and that I don't have to like it. But that it is, in a way, what we signed up for. As spiritual beings, this is what we signed up for. It's the human condition that I'm here on this earth, on this spiritual plane, to experience and interact with for some reason. And so we get to look at that in one of two ways. In both ways, actually. We have to look at it in both ways. The first way is we're here on this plane to be helpful. That we said to God or to the universe or to whoever decides when we go back around the wheel, we said, put me in, coach. I think I can help. And you do help. But also, maybe we are here right now because we have said to that same source, can you put me back in? Because I think I still have some things I need to work out. I think I still have some work to do. I have karma, and I haven't quite completed sorting through all of it. I still have to clean out my closet. So my completely unanswerable question for us this week is what work we as spiritual beings need to be doing here in America in 2025. My question for God is, oh God, does it need to be here of all places? I don't love right now so much, but apparently it needs to be here. It needs to be now. So what karma do we need to be working out so we can keep growing on that spiritual path? What work do we have to do for others in this moment in time, such that this was the only place and time that we could have been sent. And sometimes that work is a really big thing. Sometimes that work is a really small thing. I bet a lot of the times that work is something that we'll never be aware of. Sometimes on really, really lucky days, we get to hear from Scott that we got to be here in part to give so much money to forgive so much medical debt. And that's amazing. And then we get to think that it's awful that we have medical debt. That of all the things that we as a species could have chosen to create on this planet, we've created that desperation. Yes, and this too. And this too. I think the question is less about the meaning of life than it is where we are on our journeys. I am fairly sure that the work that we're doing now here means that we are growing in necessary and sometimes joyful and sometimes painful ways. I am 100% sure that we live in a loving universe. I know that. And so therefore, I know that over time, that growth is a gift. The thing itself is not the gift. The growth over many lifetimes or many planes or however it works, I have no idea, is a gift. And that it's a gift whether I understand it or not. I can understand why me getting to hang out with my dog and my niece and nephew, getting to listen to the rain here in LA is a gift. I get that. I cannot fully understand why me fixating on human rights abuses and war crimes is a gift, but I'm learning to trust that it is. If nothing else, I know that I am growing spiritually through witnessing. Maybe that's enough. I can understand why the joy of being able to feel of service, especially these days, is a gift. And I know that all of us have done that, right? Whether it's a can of food or an escort to a immigration appointment. Those are the best things that we get to do. Those are gifts. I cannot understand why I have to go through America in 2025 without Pam. I don't get that at all. I don't like it. It's a stupid idea. But I trust God. And I definitely trust that Pam will let me know someday. Ram Dass said something the other day that just knocked me on my butt. He was talking about karma and the work that we have to do with and through other spiritual beings. He talked about our parents are our given karma, meaning we get them on day one, and for better and for worse. We spend this lifetime working through and working out our stuff with them. And then there's people that we meet along the way. And we love them, or we choose them, or we can't stand them. And they are our chosen karma, meaning we, as spiritual beings, for some reason, have opted to find them so that we can work something out within ourselves, within them. Maybe, and I'm still struggling with this concept, that us and them is a false way to think about it. It's just one. It's just a separate version of the same overall soul, same energy. So that's our chosen karma. And we have work to do with all these beings. But here's the thing that just knocked the wind out of me. He said that Judas and Jesus had work to do together. And I really had to sit down and think about that one. Because you know what that means? I can think about it historically, but it means that I have work to do and that we have work to do with everyone we encounter and everyone that we have feelings about, especially difficult feelings about, right? And again, it's really easy to understand the work that I get to do with all of you guys and the work I get to do with Janet and Ken, but I cannot understand the life of me, why I have to do any work at all with Donald Trump and Stephen Miller and Pete Hegseth. God, couldn't it have been literally anybody else? Is there any other assignment I can do? Can I please trade in this homework for something else? But apparently I have some work to do because I am reacting, right? My reactivity with them is still there. That is still where I am as a spiritual being. And so I have some work to do. If I'm very lucky, that work will never be in person. But I have some work to do within myself. And just to state the very obvious, work to do does not mean working towards something earthly together. It can very much mean, and certainly does, sometimes mean working in passionate opposition. But that is still work to do. And there is the internal growth to still do. And maybe that work is just to demonstrate for us maybe our faith. Maybe it is to affirm for us how intolerable cruelty feels, how unacceptable injustice feels. I think those are all things that we knew a year ago, but we know them more strongly now. And so it could be that this whole spin around the wheel is because we all needed to learn just how much we are committed to kindness and to love. Or whatever else. I'm trying the best I can to make some kind of theory out of it. But part of being here now, both in the America Right Now sense and in the Ram Dass sense, is getting to be present and witness that miracle. And that's why I love this story that we see in the Gospels, like the most frequent story, which is this bleeding woman, because she and Jesus had some work to do together. And my favorite thing about this story is two things. One, it's that they are doing that work together. It's a completely equal story. Unlike the other stories in the Gospels where where there's this power imbalance, right? Where he's going to someone and healing them and they're in a cot or they're wherever. And he is the one significantly taking action and the power is intentionally flowing out through him. In this case, they are complete equals meeting on a crowded street. And in fact, she uses her agency to grab his coat. And neither of them know what's going to happen in that situation. She feels compelled to do it, and he feels surprised. Jesus, God, feels surprised. I love those parts. I'm obsessed with those parts where we get to see Jesus be surprised at witnessing a miracle. It's so beautiful. Like, what just happened? And that is such a wonderful thing because we see him be open to a present in which the universe can still surprise all of us. I love that. They have that work to do together. They are both here now because they had spiritual work that need to be done. So I have dumped this entire mess on you guys this morning. I made you think about Donald Trump at 10 a.m. and I'm so sorry about that. But I want you to know that that is what I have come up with after 11 months of living through our country the way it is now, is that we are each here for some reason, and that reason is good, and that reason is painful, and yes, and this too, because we need to be, and because whatever the point is, I know the point is a gift. So that is my very imperfect theory and my very unanswerable questions. But I love you and thank you so much for being a safe place always to come and ask these weird questions that swirl around in my head and hopefully grow a little bit in my faith because of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamarah. And now we will take a couple of minutes and ponder and be here now.